Alright, some of you asked for an updated look at like what I'm doing build-wise. Just a quick caveat before I get started. I don't know what I'm doing. It's probably not suboptimal and I don't really care. I just kind of feel it out and I somewhat refuse to follow guides as well. So if we go to C first, we got 15k life, 2k energy shield. That's low, I know. But maybe the passives will explain that. But anyway, capped reses plus an extra 10% from the Acolyte of Chula Ascendancy. Next time I play like this game and I have a new character, I'm going to pick an Ascendancy based on how easy it is to pronounce. Evasion of 75%. Now that is with acrobatics, right? So that could be a lot higher if I just dipped acrobatics, but I don't want to. It's useful. The 30% block comes from the staff. I'll go through gear in just a moment. So over here on gear, no, that's on gear. This isn't by any stretch of the imagination good gear, but it's also not bad gear either. The staff's quite expensive. Don't remember how much I paid for it. But I need a high physical damage staff, and so that's what I've got there. The leeching is part of the monk ascendancy. I'll talk about that more when we enter passives and stuff like that. The helmet needed to have as much energy shield as possible and like zero if anything else. And that's because of a passive which basically takes each energy shield on your helmet and doubles it and adds it to your evasion rating. So this helmet actually gives me 862 evasion just by equipping it, in addition to the 400 energy shield. Over here on the chest, we've got pretty good, not great, but pretty good chest on 13k evasion. Up here is a little weird. I've had this amulet forever. I need it because of the 50 spirit, and so whenever I replace it, I have to look for one that has the spirit. But I'm quite happy about the rolls on it. I'll talk more about allocating sand in the eyes later, but that's the anointing. You do that with distilled emotions. Down here is an incense ring. I'm probably going to be swapping this one out later. The reason I haven't swapped it out right now, though, is because of the first 3 modifiers on it. Lightning damage, chaos damage, rarity. It's just amazing. I don't really need the extra skill slot, so I could get a better ring if I got rid of the unset stuff, because that would give me another implicit or something to have. Belt's pretty standard. I do like the flask charges. I do actually have that on my life, which gains 2, so that adds it together, and like this is basically never empty. This is also never really empty. Boots are standard. I want 35 increased movement speed. I could only go 30 at that point, but there we go. I think that's it. Oh, charm, I'm just running this right now. Golden charms are weird, like it's very unclear, like, hey, is this actually doing anything? We do have the visuals now, which reminds me. But when you come back to your hideout, could you just refill the charm charges? Please, like, make that a change, right? I come back from a map, and I don't have charm charges until I click the well. But, like, everything else is okay? Odd. Anyway, heading over to passives, you'll see, first of all, it's the Monk of Chula Ascendancy. I talk about this in another video I did, but basically this lower section is pretty useless unless you're sort of going the mage route. I haven't seen that many people use darkness at all. I think it needs buffing or changing before people will look at it. One of the things that it does that is problematic is it removes your ability to use spirit, so you have no spirit facing stuff. You have to get rid of all your spirit. It'd be good if there was like, hey, maybe there's some special skills that use darkness instead or something like that. I don't know. I have seen darkness being used for a no-hit run of the Trial of Sekima for a particular equipment thing. I'm not going to do that. I'm not interested in doing that, so it's never going down here. This was really fun for leveling, particularly this, because, you know, I'm leveling. I was a noob. I was just running around grabbing health and mana off the floor. But much more useful is this this here, which is the chaos resistance stuff. Makes chaos resistance really cheap. Plus 10 to maximum chaos resistance, though, isn't actually that much. You can see here it bumped it up to 85. Because it's doubled, this number is actually half of 94, like so 40 or whatever. So it becomes a little bit cheaper for gear that way. Lots of monks take Chaos Inoculation, which does lead to not requiring these. But if I didn't need these, then I would just go down here, and then I would need Spirit, because Into the Breach requires Spirit. So like there's no point investing in it, basically. The top parts are why I need the leech. So this one being, you cannot recharge energy shield. Mana leech also recovers energy shield. That plus the leech I've got for life, plus a bunch of other passive you can probably just see off screen. We'll go there, I promise. It means if I'm attacking something, I'm probably okay. In the event that I stop attacking is when danger happens and I can actually die. And then the other one here is this. This is like difficult to get your head around, but it's easy to read the bottom one and then just, think about it a little bit more. 7% chance to gain 100% of damage with hits as extra chaos damage. What that is a 7% chance to do double damage. You'll do 100% your regular damage, and then on that 7% proc, you will do 100. You'll do that 100% of damage again. It's also a 23% chance to do 25%. So like it's a good damage boost all up, but like it doesn't show up on many damage statistics, so it's difficult to sort of reason about. Over here, I'm too invested in this tree. I want to get out of evasion because I also need this one over here. I know some people go and they do this more or this more, but like you can see, like most of the notables I have are evasion. I have been optimizing them, like by cutting off this one, which doesn't make any sense because I don't have energy shield recharge. That's useless to me. Same thing as down here. This does give movement speed, but its other part is energy shield recovery rate, which I can't make use of. Let's see what else is going on. The only lightning one I've got down here is this, which is the more maximum lightning damage. If you see the word more and the word maximum next to it, like it's good. Grab it. I actually have previously done these, which penetrate. I have done that one previously, but I don't really shock that much. It's more electrocute. But I also have down here in terms of lightning, I have the electrocute buildup. What that does is means that electrocute, rather than being just a sort of way to gain charges, is also a way to sort of CC the enemy for me, because electrocute freezes them. In some of the videos you've seen when I've done maps, you might see like, hey, the enemies just stop and then they jerk around. That's actually electrocute proccing, and it lasts quite a while. I'm not really doing anything to affect that, but it is. I got the quarter stuff up here. This 30% increased defenses is really good. Down here isn't so much. Particularly when you're not using power. Like if you were using like, I don't know, Flicker Strike or something else that used power charges, you might go down here more. Got the Herald stuff, of course. Here's Acrobatics. These down here are kind of Ranger stuff, but they're really useful because of the attack speed. My stuff has the stock attacks per second, 1.4, so I need to invest into attack speed or it doesn't work out well. I've also invested down here, which again is sort of like ailment and physical damage. There is definitely out there, and I'll link if I remember to a channel which was using, I think they swapped over to something else, but they were using like an ailment-based monk, and that meant that they had even more down here. Like this part, and this one, and I think they even had down here. Let's see what else is notable over here. The gems are quite good. They're a bit memey because I was just like, I was able to make good deals on them. I looked and it was like, hey, we got 10% increased damage with Quarterstaff, 50% increased evasion rating. Really, really good. The blind I really don't need though, because that's 4% increased chance to blind enemies on hit with attacks. Great. But I've also got that over here with a 10% chance to blind enemies on hit with attacks. This I'm over here for the quarter damage increase. I could get the quarter damage increase from up here instead, but I got that one instead. I don't know. Shoot me. Actually, I'd be able to. Maybe it's a change. I'll try. 10. That's 20. It's like a 50% increase in attack damage, and that one was that, but only as the enemies like turn around on life, and I don't like the complexity. I've also got some Mana Leech passives. I went up here for Mana Leech passive because this gives you 50% increased maximum energy shield. There is a Mana Leech passive down here that gives you 2% mana on kill. Did have that one for a while. Did have both for a while, but I realized I was over-indexing on Mana Leech. More on that in a moment. This tree down here is good for just like, it's a bunch of like random stuff nearby. So this gives attack speed and accuracy rating. Accuracy rating doesn't really matter with a Quarterstaff, but whatever, the 5% attack speed is good enough. And then over here is 50% increased amount of mana leached, and then this increases the chance to inflict ailments against rare or unique enemies. What's interesting is that does cover electrocute, but it doesn't cover blind because blind isn't an ailment, but it sounds sounds like one, so I get kind of confused about that. I don't need any more mana leech here, so it's doubt. Like if I got another 2 points, I might go up here, but that would be into critical hit shots, which I don't have a lot of. I want to, and I'll explain this when I talk about blind a little bit more, but I want to experiment down here. So this does 50% increased blind effect. Now, for those who are unaware, blind causes 20% less accuracy rating and evasion rating. So it basically makes anyone that's blinded easier to hit and makes them less likely to hit you. So at its current state, it's only 20%, but if I got this, it would increase it by 50%. So I think that would be 30% less, because it would be like 50% of the... maths is difficult, right? Also, like, people say, hey, push shift. It tells you, like, what... If it's a weird thing, it doesn't tell you. Like, this one also doesn't tell you the numbers that it would. If it's, like, regular damage, then it will. Like, here, you'll be like, all right, this increases that, etc. But there we go. Additionally, when I have equipped the passive, it'll be good if this tells me what would happen if I removed the passive, because I kind of just have to do the maths. I have to say, like, oh, okay, so it would give me 3k, roughly, like 2.5 maybe. I don't do exact maths, but it's giving me like 2.5k damage per second. Okay, cool. So if I remove that, I will go down from 41. So I have to keep that in mind. Attack speed everywhere. Like I said, the dexterity as well. Most of the stat nodes are dexterity or int, which is good for my class. A couple are strength, but I need to wheedle those out and get rid of those as I change up some gear. Where's another jewel? There's another jewel over here that has the lightning resistance, and that penetrating the lightning resistance is actually why I got out of here, because that's 6/6, that's 12. And then that is 18, so that would be like 30. Whereas here I've just got like 8, and it's fine. If I wanted to juice that more, I'd have to go down here, maybe get a better jewel or something. I debate linking these together. I would have to take 2 points here to link this part together, and I wouldn't really gain anything. The stuff in the middle here isn't applicable unless I'm going critical damage or fire stuff. I haven't really seen a fire monk. There is that fire unique, so it'll be interesting to see. You know, there's probably a fire monk build out there that makes sense. Now, the interesting part is up here, because lots of monks obviously go up here to CI, Chaos Inoculation, but I've seen a lot of monks, and it's sort of like way more than you realize, also go up here to Patient Barrier, which is 60% increased maximum energy shield, which is huge. It does do 20% slower start of energy rear shield, but recharge even, but I don't have energy shield recharge, so it doesn't matter. I might still go up there. What I'm actually hoping to do maybe is to get one of those gems that allows you to get passives within a range. I don't know if it'll reach there, and the answer is probably not, and I don't know if that one will reach. The answer is probably not, but like, hey, we'll see. If I get one of those gems, maybe I can chuck it down here and then disconnect this whole bunch. So we'll see if that works out. Like, I was not connected along here, and I was connected through here, but if you look at the sort of traffic between this node and this node, if you go up here, it's 1, 2, 3. So there's a well, it's a gap of 2 in the middle, right? But if you want to go straight across here, that's a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So it's almost like an entire 10 levels just to get through this thing. These are the good contributors to the evasion rating and also to the dexterity. So there we go. I'm battling my way up the levels. It does get really hard when you're level 93, but we'll go there. It's weird because, like, the intermediary levels just get you to do, like, silly stuff. Like, my last 2 levels have gone up here for cost of skills. I can balance that out if I get better gear, and I probably won't need those 2, but right now I do. Otherwise, it's like a pain. I have mana brownouts. I do have Resonance here, which is the last sort of keystone I didn't mention, and that's how I generate power charges. Let's go over to some clean area away from these guys. You'll see up here, I do have linked quarterstaff, and that's because I can spot the gems for it. It does do a fair bit of damage by itself, and it has no mana cost. When charged staff is up as well, it has the charged staff abilities, and so sometimes if there's a mana brownout, I will slip in a quarterstaff strike in between doing Tempest Flurry, so I do have that socketed. Herald of Thunder is here. I could Greater Jewel that, couldn't I? I didn't realize that was the case. Here's the sort of money that I'm making on this. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not trying to like min-max this or anything, but I'm sort of middle class when it comes to stuff that I've got here. All right, let's take a look at... Give me a second whilst I yell at this dog. All right, yeah, so I was looking at... I got 2 of these to a skill gem with 3. Yes, so that would make 4. So I could add 1 here or here. I'll actually think about that off camera. I'm not going to do that straight away. I could do both of those, but I might want to do Wind Dancer. One of the problems with all these buffs, though, is that when you add extra support gems, they require more spirit. And I can't get more spirit unless I redo the gear. So I'll leave that for now. But anyway. Herald is on. Hand of Chila has Voltaic Mark, which does the... make them more susceptible to being shocked. Yes, it was actually this one I was thinking of. I got the 2 confused. This one lowers their lightning resistance, so it's very good, and then this one makes them do less damage. I could, four-link this and put in another curse, but I would have to do enough maths there to take a look at it. Wind Dancer is huge. Wind Dancer is just amazing. Make sure that you quality modify it as well, because you can get just a little bit of extra evasion from that. It's got... there's more blinded. I most certainly do not need that one, but anyway, there we go. Blind. We got... Oh, that actually applies to the... So when Wind Dancer procs, it does this like explosion around. That actually makes sense. Yeah, I wanna leave that. That one makes it do more damage when there are people there, and stun build up as well. So you can see there's like ailment stuff going on. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing, and I need to, like, at some point I'm going to take out every single gem, put them in my inventory, and then re-socket them back into my skills one by one, but that probably ain't happening for a bit. Tempest Bell. Key ones on Tempest Bell are the limit one. Where is it? Here it is. +1 to limit. That means you can have like more than one Tempest Bell out. That didn't make sense to me for a lot of levels, but it started making sense to me once I figured out that bell positioning is like really important, and when you don't have the +1 to limit, if you miss a bell position or get it off, you don't have chance to do it again for a little bit, or you have to destroy the bell. But with +1 to limit, it's just like, I don't care, right? I'm just constantly dropping in bells, and then I focus on the one that's more appropriate, and if that's not suitable, then hey, it'll last 50% shorter amount of time. I do have Font of Mana on that. I don't really know why. I could probably change that one out. I haven't really looked at the gems on this one in a while. You'll see that problem happens as well. Like, unless you're like a YouTuber whose like full-time job is making builds, like sometimes you just want to come on and do some maps, right? You don't want to look at your gems because it's stressful. Staggering Palm. The reason why I have Staggering Palm is because it allows a second buff on Tempest Flurry that adds more... I can't remember what it adds, but it adds more stuff. Oh yeah, it adds the projectile, right? Yeah. Which is more blind, yeah. It also does 131% damage. So that adds a fair bit of damage on top. Up next is the money maker, which is usually Tempest Flurry or Flicker Strike for monks, but it's Tempest Flurry for me. You see that does 41,000, but it has the Rage gem on it. So as it generates Rage, it will go up. And then also remember that the chaos damage is on top of that as well. So this has a 7% chance to do 82,000 damage, basically. And then plus the rage, it's sort of like, I have like a 7% chance to do like 100k damage on random hits. We've got a Grim Feast. It's a little bit lower level than I can get. I could get that all the way up to 19. I don't have enough int to do that. I need to sort of get rid of that strength like I talked about, which will probably be covered by just getting rid of those, but I gotta take a look. I gotta figure it out at some point. Combat Frenzy, which is how I get my power charges, which has just got the stock buff gems in it, plus the Profusion one, which is more charges sometimes. Grim Feast is just absolutely broken, by the way, like I'm everywhere. Charge Stuff is here. Something which I keep thinking about and trying to experiment with is like, how much do these gems affect the attacks from Tempest Story once charge staff is lit. I also don't... read this like 4 times. Oh, okay, so it's like Cull. So Cull is basically like if you have a certain amount of HP that's like below a certain threshold, you can be killed instantly. Prime for electrocution means that like if they have at least 40% electrocution build up, you can just instantly proc electrocute. That makes sense. That's why I'm seeing a lot of electrocuting happening. Whirling Assault I use as a sort of like escape or panic move. I'm probably going to lose that one when I get rid of the Unset Ring, so I kind of don't worry about it until I figure that one out. That's really all there is to it. I'm gonna go into a map and just talk whilst I fight a little bit as well, because I've been waffling along for a bit, but it's important to, I don't know, now you have the knowledge of what I'm trying to do, you can see what's going on. I don't want anything that decreases damage. Yeah, that'll do. Let's put these away as well. Atlas, very well explored by me. There's like channels of progress in like every direction, basically. Now we can see citadels. It's just not a problem, so I don't really need to worry about it so much. Like there's one there that I can do. There's another one over there. I think there's it's one there as well. It's like there's citadels everywhere. It's fine. I will. Ooh, let's go to Breach. Val City. What we got? We got Val City, or we got Forge. I don't like Forge. It's confined. We'll do Val City. It's fine. We got an Omen here and a Refreshment. I don't usually activate it because that won't save me. Like it wouldn't save me if I died. I used to also have the Experience one, but I died, and the Experience one procced, and I got to level 93 because of that. No escape. Give me a second. I'll make some adjustments to the side of the screen that I'm trying to show off. Push this arrow here. I wish there was like a collapse all button, and I wish I'd remembered to do this before I entered the map. But you can collapse everything down. I wish you could also reorder these, because that would make sense, but just keep an eye on Tempest Flurry here as we progress through the map. Oh, by the way, for those who are not aware about how I'm able to keep this open, that's probably reset those. No, okay, they're still fine. There is a keybind within the keybind options that is close all user interface. I'll show you in just a moment. I just need to get like a clear area that doesn't have enemies for a little bit. All right, there we go. Now I can focus on that. So we go to options, we go to input. We want to scroll down to, here it is, close all user interface. By default, it's assigned to space, but I set it to plus, basically a key I don't hit. But it's the equivalent of when you push escape and all the UI closes, but it was happening on space. If you unbind that, it means you can keep this window open whilst you're fighting. And I obviously wouldn't do this on like a Citadel or anything like that, but if I'm experimenting with a build, I will absolutely do it. So if you see a sort of cloud on someone's face with a glowy white center that's small, that's blind proccing. And if you see a larger, yellower circle, that is staggering palm. But I don't usually have to use any of the sort of advanced tech I've got with like regular white mobs. It's not required. need to edit my loot filter. I installed... Actually, I don't even remember. Here it is. I've got never sync light filter, but I need like, there's a new filter released recently, and I haven't updated to it. I need to, because at the level that I'm operating at, I don't pick up most stuff I see with this current filter, and that means I need to change the filter. I don't care about any of this, like, at all. Like, if the belt has more than one slot, which I know sometimes you can't tell of undefined, then, like, maybe I'll give it a go, but these are all just, like, bad, basically. They're not even worth selling. I have a quad stash tab, which is a dump tab full of stuff priced at 1 exalt, and some of it should not be priced at 1 exalt, but I just don't care. And no one buys it. It's crazy. I am on D&D right now, so I wouldn't get any requests anyway, but I think there's like a market saturation where people are looking for specialized crafted stuff that resembles their build, their ideal stuff, or maybe the meta, and it means that like the lower tier stuff that I'm selling just isn't suitable for someone. Having some FPS detail issues here, but that's breach for you. I hate breach from corridor maps. It's not worth the time. Like, I would have to turn around and go back up here to try and keep the breach open because I made the wrong choice. I'll check the yield in just a second, though. Yeah, that's a yield of 9. That's nothing. If I'd gone up here, this is slightly wider and it led into this square, so that would have probably been a better use of the breach in corridors. Plan your route in corridor maps before you open the breach. Like, where are you going to run? Where are you going to run if it gets tight? Etc. Stuff like that. Like, what are you going to do? Because it can make or break your breach. That's a boss. We will go in there shortly, but I just want a power charge. I just need a single power charge. And there ain't going to be any, are there? Alright, we'll just do it blind. It's fine, we'll be fine. So this is the Viper. It's level 80.
Halt! Your rampage ends here!
So she's already blind. So that's 20% reduced accuracy rating on her part. She's electrocuted.
You will fall before us. You are nothing but a locust. Not yet. Feel Arakali's sting.
Alright, now I can't hit her for a bit because she's doing this stuff. I can usually kill her before she starts this stuff, but I guess not today.
I shall crush you, insect.
Whoa. Okay, that was stressful.
I will crush out your queen or die. I'm unable. Hey, sharp is the man.
Fate is on my side.
I didn't actually go that well. I almost died. If I'd had a power charge before going in there, it would probably been better. As you can see, I did electrocute her enough to get enough power charges for it not to really to matter.
No escape. No mana.
Oh, and if I'm running around like a bug, like lost in this, it's because there's a corridor map, and I'm kind of just feeling out the layout and trying not to, like, turn around a lot. There are checkpoints now, but I find them useless. Go back for an orb. I also forgot the hand there. If I'd done the hand, it would have probably not had that almost death there. But I usually forget the hand. On more higher density maps, I'm great. I don't usually need to use a mana pot there. Because again, if I'm attacking stuff, I'm regaining pretty much everything. I'm regaining life, I'm regaining mana, I'm regaining energy shield, it's great. I could probably do without Grim Feast. That would mean relying on the leech more. Like, right now what's happening is, because I'm over max energy shield, I don't think the leech is doing anything. Which I am aware of, like, Grim Feast is just too good. Like, I've basically doubled my effective health. And that'll only go down if I leave the map or I get hit. So why are teleports checkpoints useless? Because I'm on the other side of the map and there are no checkpoints nearby. That's why they're useless. There aren't enough of them.
Fury unleashed.
Maybe there's one up here. This gear is only about 60% rarity as well. Hold on. Yeah, rarity 60. So yeah, I need to upgrade it all. I got enough money to do it. As you can see, I got like 4 divines going, plus I think like 350 exalts last time I checked. So that's another 3 divines there. So like I got like 7 divines to work with. I know divine pricing is like all over the place right now though, but like I'll figure it out. If I need to liquidate some stuff to make more capital, I can do that. I got stash tabs full of stuff I can turn into exalts by just not caring what they're worth. Troll, like such a troll. It's like, oh, this might be this path, right? It might be this part. It's almost identical to this part, but it just stops there. So you can see there's no checkpoint on this side of the map right now. So my choice is explore this side of the map more in the hopes that there'll be a checkpoint, or walk. There won't be one down here. I can kind of see the wall there. So I don't think there's any in this entire part of the map.
No escape.
There we go. All the rares are appearing now. Don't even need the bell for rare mobs most of the time. I am getting bored of it as well, which is like something I knew would happen. What I mean by bored of it is I'm bored of Tempest Flurry. So if I were to, you know, start another character, use a different skill set, it would be great, but I couldn't do another monk. Because I would spend hours on them. I'd probably do an invoker, right? I would spend hours leveling them up, and then I would get to endgame, and I'd just be effectively mouse one forward still. Unless I did Flicker Strike, but I don't like Flicker Strike because I don't. It's disorientating for me, and I'd rather not teleport wildly around the battlefield. This setup also allows for like a hybrid between WASD and mouse movement. So if I had mouse movement right on now, like I would click over here and I would go over there. Or I could just hold mouse 1 and move in that direction anyway. My hand's off WASD right now. But you can combine those and you can sort of charge your own direction there. Oh yeah, and then the thing I was talking about regular strikes. Let's get a power charge. Nope, no luck. All right, we got one. Yeah, so that's Tempest Flurry, and that's regular attack, and that takes no mana. And so if I'm not moving and I'm having mana issues, I'll try and remind myself to do that, and it'll regain some mana, and then I instantly switch back to Tempest. But there we are. As for what I'll be doing next, if I go to my stash, I'll show you. Actually feel like I should rename this now. It was funny, but not given current climate. So I have a whole host of ritual and breach tablets. And so I've been not using them for a bit because I've been focused on EXP. I wanted to get to 93. I'm now at 93. And then I wanted to get a little bit more capital to maybe update the boots. But now I've got that. I'm going to be unpacking all these breach and ritual tablets into other areas of the map to start investing in those. Because if you go take a look at the Atlas skill tree, I've got standard set up for waystones here. What you do is you just go up here and you type waystone. And then anything that's got waystone on it, you mouse over and check. Or you can do quant here, and it'll show you all the passives that have got quantity on them. And you'll see that I've got them all. quantity of waystones, etc. Up here in the boss tree, I've got both sides of this. And now I'm heading up into the second half of it. But I haven't got any in Delirium, Expedition, or even Breach. Hence why I want to play with all those tablets. Like, I might want to redo the tree at some point as well. Like, I don't struggle with Waystone Sustain, but I still appreciate the amount of Waystones I do get. So I'm probably not touching that for a bit. But there you go, that's me rambling. Just one final disclaimer. I don't know what I'm doing. So, cool. Speak to you soon.